They said my dog was a threat. They said my "Beware of Dog" sign created a hostile neighborhood atmosphere. And that's how I ended up in a full-blown suburban war with pastel-color sarcasm and one very fluffy, very misunderstood giant. I've always liked my peace and quiet. I work from home as a graphic designer tucked away in Oakwood Estates, a place so neat and boring you could film toothpaste commercials there. My dog, Brutus, and I lived in perfect harmony, me tapping away on my laptop, him snoring beside me like a chainsaw wrapped in a blanket. He's a Leonberger, about 150 pounds of fur, drool, and pure affection. Not exactly a guard dog. The only thing he's ever attacked was a peanut butter jar. I had this old "Beware of Dog" sign on my lawn. $5 off Amazon. Half joke, half deterrent for door-to-door salesmen. Brenda, my mail carrier, used to laugh every time she dropped off a package. "Yeah, he's a menace," she'd say, as Brutus leaned against her leg, nearly knocking her over with love. Life was simple. Predictable. Until Carol Hernandez happened. Carol, our brand new HOA president, was what you'd get if a clipboard came to life and ran for office. Perfectly pressed blouses, hair sprayed into a helmet, eyes sharp enough to slice drywall. She'd already scolded me once for leaving my trash bin 2 inches past regulation distance from the curb. I thought she'd stop there. I was wrong. One Tuesday, Brenda handed me a thick, ominous envelope. "Looks official," she said, smirking. The return address read Oakwood Estates, HOA. My stomach sank. Inside was a 3-page violation notice, 3 pages accusing me of displaying signage that promotes aggression and hostility. My $5 sign had apparently become a neighborhood crisis. The letter even claimed it was lowering property values and fostering an unwelcoming atmosphere. I swear these people could turn a bird feeder into a felony. And there it was in bold type. Fine, $50. Increases to $100 per week if not removed within 14 days. I read it out loud to Brutus, who yawned. "They think you're dangerous, buddy." He licked my hand and went back to sleep. I sat there half laughing, half boiling with anger. Was I really going to take down a sign because some overzealous HOA queen thought it was scary? The logical part of me said to just let it go, but another part, the petty, sarcastic part, wanted to fight. So I went for a walk. Found Carol inspecting Mrs. Henderson's roses with her sacred clipboard. I held up the letter. "This masterpiece of bureaucracy, your work, I assume?" She smiled thinly. "Rules are rules, Mark. The sign implies danger. We have children here." "Carol," I said, "the only thing Brutus guards is my couch." As if on cue, Brutus trotted up, tail wagging. He gently nudged her hand, his version of hello. Carol recoiled like he was a live grenade. "Get that beast away from me," she hissed. I stared at her, then at Brutus, whose expression clearly said, "Did I do something wrong?" "You see, Carol," I said softly, "the sign might actually be accurate after all. It's warning people about overwhelming friendliness." That was the moment I decided I wouldn't just comply. I'd over-comply. Maliciously. The next day, I sat at my computer, opened my design software, and started creating. Goodbye, black and white warning. Hello, pastel pink and baby blue. I picked the friendliest font I could find, Comic Sans, naturally. The text read, "Beware of Cuddles. He's 150-ish. He's relentless. You will be snuggled." It was so sugary it hurt to look at. Perfect. When the sign arrived, I replaced the old one with a ceremonial flourish. Brutus wagged approvingly. 10 minutes later, I heard the distinct screech of tires. Carol's car. She marched up my driveway like a general. "Mark, what is the meaning of this?" I took a slow sip of iced tea. "It's a warning, Carol. Just a different kind." "But this is ridiculous, Pink Blue. It's not standard." "Is it aggressive?" I asked, tilting my head. She sputtered. "It's unprofessional." I smiled. "Well, that's not a bylaw violation. Yet." She stomped off furious. For about a week, the neighborhood buzzed with laughter. Kids loved it. Even old Mr. Henderson said it was the first funny thing he'd seen in 20 years. Then another letter arrived. Shorter, but sharper. Carol had upped the stakes. Bylaw 12, Section 8A. Approved signage aesthetics. Apparently, my pastel colors violated community harmony. Fine $150 per week. I felt my stomach drop. For a moment, I actually doubted myself. Maybe I was being childish. Maybe I should just take it down, keep the peace, stop poking the bear, or in this case, the clipboard. But then I saw Brutus asleep beside my desk, his massive paw twitching mid-dream. He trusted me to protect his goofy, gentle reputation. That was all the motivation I needed. I called a contractor friend S, an old guy with a gruff voice and a heart of gold. S, I said, I need something built. Something artistic. He groaned. Kid, I fix pipes. I don't build art. Oh, this one's simple. A big wooden cutout of Brutus. 6 feet tall, maybe a little 3D. Muted colors like the bylaw says. But make it look menacingly cuddly. He burst out laughing. You're insane. I love it. 3 days later, a truck pulled up with a monstrosity on the back. A life-sized wooden Brutus paws, outstretched mid-hug tongue, lolling out eyes wide with unholy cheer. Next to it, my framed Beware of Cuddles sign mounted in elegant dark wood. It was absurd and beautiful. Within an hour, cars slowed down just to stare. Then the sirens came. 2 police cruisers, lights flashing. And, of course, Carol pacing on the sidewalk, phone in hand. Officers, she cried. It's a public menace. A threatening effigy. Officer Ramirez looked at the cutout, then at Brutus, who was sitting politely beside it. Ma'am, he said, it's a wooden dog. But it's lunging, she insisted. Officer Ali crouched to pet Brutus, who responded with a happy snort. He seems pretty friendly, ma'am. I tried not to laugh. You see, officers, it's all in compliance. Muted colors. Professional design scheme. Ramirez sighed, rubbing his temple. Ma'am, this isn't a crime. It's art. Maybe take up yoga. They left. Carol stood there trembling with fury. I almost felt bad for her, most. But I wasn't done yet. If she wanted to call my work a public disturbance, I was going to make it one. I called S again. Got another job for you, old man. He groaned. You want me to add glitter now? Not glitter. Speakers. The next day, S installed a motion sensor and outdoor speaker behind the wooden cutout. When anyone walked past it, boomed in my voice, Cuddle alert. Unauthorized presence detected in the snuggle zone, deploying fur missile followed by Brutus's cheerful bark. It was glorious. Kids walked by on purpose just to hear it. Even grumpy Mr. Henderson cracked a smile. But Carol, she called the police again. When the same officers showed up, Ramirez could barely keep a straight face. Mr. Peterson, he said, are you seriously running an automated cuddle alert system? Public safety, I replied. People need to know what they're getting into. Ramirez sighed. Its daytime volume's reasonable and, frankly, it's hilarious. Carol was fuming. You can't possibly allow this mockery. Ali smiled. Ma'am, we can't arrest someone for being too adorable. The neighborhood was now divided, Team Carol versus Team Cuddles. Spoiler, Team Cuddles was winning. But Carol wasn't done. A week later came the nuclear strike and emergency HOA meeting. Her letter declared my property a public nuisance, threatened a $500 fine, even a lien. It was war. For a second, I thought about surrender. It was exhausting. The letters, the complaints, the drama. I wasn't trying to start a movement, I just wanted peace. But Brutus was lying there, chin on his paws, watching me. He'd done nothing wrong. And if I gave in, Carol would win not just against me, but against everyone who just wanted to live without being micromanaged. So I prepared. I spent 2 days designing a slideshow. Not bylaws, not arguments, just pictures. Brutus sleeping. Brutus letting toddlers climb on him. Brutus chasing butterflies. Proof of pure innocence. Then I called S again. One last favor, I said. Bring the wooden Brutus. He groaned, but agreed. The community center was packed. Carol sat at the front like a dictator about to declare martial law. She started with a speech about property values and community harmony. I could practically hear the collective eye rolls. Then she showed pictures of my sign and statue like she was presenting evidence from a crime scene. Finally, she sneered. Does anyone wish to speak before we vote? I stood. Yes, I said I do. I connected my laptop to the projector. The first slide popped up Brutus as a puppy tangled in a garden hose. Laughter rippled through the room. I clicked again, Brutus napping with a cat. Brutus letting a kid dress him in a tutu. This, I said, is the dangerous creature you're so worried about. His only weapon is unconditional love and occasionally drool. People chuckled. Even a few of Carol's allies smiled. Then S rolled in the wooden cutout on a dolly. Gasps, then applause. And this, I added grinning, is his emotional support statue. I looked at Dave, my neighbor who gently led the real Brutus forward wearing a vest that read, "Free Cuddles." The room melted. He wagged his tail once, then flopped down beside me like a furry rug. And then something magical. A little boy, probably 4, broke free from his mom's lap and ran up to Brutus. Before anyone could react, Brutus leaned down and gently licked the tears off the kid's face. The boy giggled and hugged his neck. The room erupted in awes and laughter. Even the board members looked like they might cry. Carol just stood there, pale and silent. I turned back to the crowd. Now that you've met the menace, should I still take down the sign? Mr. Henderson stood up first. He's a good boy, he said gruffly. Let the man keep his dog and his damn sign. Applause. Cheers. The vote wasn't even close. Carol's motion failed spectacularly. And just like that, the war over. Carol lost her presidency in the next election. The new president, Sarah, who owned 2 golden retrievers, revoked the aggressive signage bylaw entirely. Brutus became the unofficial mascot of Oakwood Estates. I kept the sign. Still there today, a pastel warning to anyone passing by. Beware of Cuddles. Because in the end, I learned something simple: never underestimate the power of kindness. Or the chaos it can cause when you aim it at a tyrant.